Alrighty, what's up guys, and welcome back to yet another episode of the walk around. A few of you may recognize me. I go by the name It's Big Red, and I reviewed all of the vets bikes and make sure they're running properly, make sure everything is 100% on them, and just making sure everything is cooling. So I do have quite a bit of experience riding bikes. I've probably reviewed around 40 and I've probably ridden over 60 different bikes. So I've got a decent idea of what I'm talking about when it comes to these beautiful machines. Now, with that being said guys, today we have a 2016 KTM Super Adventure 1190R. A little bit of a mouthful, but nonetheless guys, this is my favorite adventure bike, and it is probably one of my top 4, top 5 favorite bikes overall. It's one of my favorite bikes, one of my favorite platforms, the 1190R. I'm gonna have to stop myself from yapping here. So I've noticed that I tend to ramble about the bikes that I've got a bit more of a liking towards. So I'm going to do my best to not go off topic today, and I'm going to do my best to give you guys the information that you are looking for. Now, in terms of a category guys, I'm wanting to kind of put it into B, but purely because of the displacement and the power that this thing has, I'm going to have to put it into the C class, which means you've probably got to have a decent amount of riding experience before you jump onto something like this. So first things first guys, we are going to start off with the looks, and I must say it is one of my favorite looking ADV bikes as well. Obviously you've got the, actually let's go and have a look, why not? We have got the Honda NC 750s, we've got the DCT and the manual. We've also got, what is that? Someone's phone. We've got a BMW GS 1200, and we have got a KTM 1290 and another 1190. And obviously you've also got your Africa Twins, your Teneres, and all those sorts of bikes. Ultimately, I do think that they all look kind of similar. I think the GS and the NC are the only ones that kind of stand out. But the 1190s, or sorry, the Super ADVs, the Teneres, and the Africa Twins all kind of have the same general shape. Like if you look at this and you squint your eyes and you imagine it just being a little bit taller at the front, it can pass for a Tenere. So yeah, overall I'm a huge fan of the look of these bikes. One of my favorite things is definitely this front headlight. I just love it. It looks modern. That's the only real way to put it. I love the attention to detail. I mean, if you look at this here, this is just a nice simple little plastic fairing just to finish this all off nicely. I'm a huge fan of the crash bars. That's something that comes stock standard on pretty much all of their models. I'm a huge fan of how, okay, well, specifically with this R, it does have the single seat, and that's one of my favorite things about the bike as well. It just finishes off so nicely. I love the stitching over here to kind of distinguish the pillion from the main rider's seat. Huge fan of that. Obviously we've got the exhaust, which we'll touch on when we get into the modifications. We've got we've got a top box, which doesn't take away from the look of the bike. I think it matches the profile very nicely, and it doesn't really look out of place. Again, same thing with the tank bag, nice and magnetic, easy to come off, easy to put on, and again, doesn't take away from the look of the bike. However, we will get onto that in a little bit more detail later on. Now, with these 1190s and 1290s and 1390s, you can get sticker kits, and those sticker kits can really do a lot to improve the look of the bike itself. Now, we had one in here not long ago. It was also an 1190R. That thing had an absolutely beautiful sticker kit on it. If I can find a picture of it somewhere, I'll pop it up on the screen. But all of this was like this nice blue. It worked so well with the bike. I think it was the same year model as well, but it just worked so well. And yeah guys, just looking at the bike as from a design point of view, something that I touched on in the last review was the design of these foot pegs. Rear sets, not rear sets. It's been a long day guys, forgive me. Brilliant pegs, and they've really put a lot of thought into the design of it, so much so that they haven't changed it at all since they did it in 2011. And it's also one of my favorite things about these is that the parts are so interchangeable. I mean, look at that, exactly the same, looks good, it's functional, perfect. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So all the way from 2011 up to 2018, we've got the exact same pillion pegs, and I love it. I know some people might be like, oh, they're lazy, nah. It's not. If it works, why change it? You know, it looks good and it works. Same thing with these crash bars. You'll notice that these are quite literally the exact same as those. So, I mean, there's literally just two things that I've looked at already. Pillion pegs and the crash bars, completely interchangeable from 2011 all the way up to 2018, maybe even further on. Unfortunately, we don't have a newer model with us today. Now, in terms of comfort, I personally think that this is where comfort lies in the adventure bike class. Obviously, some of those cruisers are very, very comfy, but due to my personal riding preferences, having the kind of off-road styled riding position is absolutely perfect for me. No pressure on the back, on the neck, on the wrists. The only place that you're going to have any sort of pain is on your butt. So if you get a good enough seat, there's no pain on your butt, and it's just going to be a nice, smooth, comfortable ride. I've done quite a bit of riding on these 1190s, probably about 4 or 5 hours in total, and I must say they are the most comfortable bike I have ever ridden, and I've ridden a lot of bikes. So very, 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 very comfortable, very natural feeling. The feet are straight down and your hands are straight forward. I mean, very, very self-explanatory, and it's just, as a result, you can just tell that it's a very comfortable bike to ride. Very, very similar to the dirt bikes. I mean, even if you come and look at the likes of the 690, same thing. Feet are directly below the seat and the hands are straight forward. And I mean, you can see it on the dirt bikes. Even over here, feet are directly below the seats, handlebars are nice and straightforward. So there's literally no lean angle. And as a result, super, super, super comfy. Coupled with the suspension, which is one of my favorite things about these bikes. It's one of the smoothest. It's yeah. You see, I don't want to start rambling. I was about to start rambling there, but all I can say is that it's probably one of the smoothest bikes you will ever ride, and one of the most comfortable bikes you will ever ride. Awesome, love it. If I could have this as a daily, I would do it. 1,000,000 gazillion%. This would be my daily. Now, one of my absolute highlights on this bike, and we're gonna couple it together, is maneuverability and acceleration. Guys, there's no way for me to describe riding an 1190. It's definitely different from the 1290s. I've ridden a 1290 ADV. It's very different. There's just something about these 1190s. It's like, let's take those Africa Twins. I mean, I think that's what, 24. Okay, let's take a T7 Tenere 700. It's essentially a Tenere 700 with much more power. That's what this thing feels like. It's light, it's nimble, it's capable, and it's got a boatload of power, an absolute boatload. Guys, I saw a guy this morning on Instagram ramping and racing around an MX track on a KTM 1390. If you can do that on a 1390, imagine what you can do on an 1190. So, to stop myself from rambling, all I can say is that it is one of the most capable bikes you will ever ride. It can go off-roading, you can wheelie the hell out of it, you can drag me through a corner on it, you can go and climb the Magaliesberg mountain with it, you can cross the Nile River with it, you can almost do anything with this bike. I find me something you can't do at an 1190. Find it for me. I'll be very surprised. You could probably put wings on this thing and it would fly. If you can't tell, guys, I love 1190s. Power is absolutely immaculate. It hits so early and it's so consistent. I mean, at 4,000 RPMs it hits, and it's consistent right the way through up until 12. My issue with these bikes is that they're very easy to redline as a result. Because there's no loss in power, you almost don't notice that you need a shift. So yeah, once or twice I did redline one of these, and oh my goodness, the joys of working at a bike shop. And as a result, I didn't notice that I needed to shift because there was no loss in power. So I was just like, well, let's just keep going. And then you shift and then you get even more power. So it's just, yeah, I absolutely love the power delivery, the power curve on this, absolutely immaculate. And you know, just touching back onto the maneuverability, it's so capable. You know, I wheelied one of these, easier to wheelie than my Triumph, easier to wheelie than my off-road. It's just, it's so capable. And I mean, the things that I've seen guys do on these bikes, it's absolutely mind-blowing. You know, you have to actually see it to believe it. Yes. How much time am I on? 15. Oh my goodness. You see, the recording time is already at like 16 minutes long. Okay guys, you see, listen, we need to wrap things up here. All I can say is that if you are looking for an adventure bike, and I don't even have to tell you to come and buy it. Just come here, come and look at it, take it for a little test ride, and the rest is history. That's all I can say. Guys, if you made it through to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. If I didn't manage to answer any questions that you have, there is a review out on a 1190S on my channel, so you can go and check that out. Very similar bike. The S's rather, just have a little bit of a softer suspension setup, and the power is a little bit, well, hits a little bit later. So very similar, just two kind of differences in the suspension and power delivery. But anyways, if I didn't manage to answer any of your questions and the video doesn't answer any of your questions, pop a comment on this video and if I don't get just drop a comment below and I will get back to you as soon as possible, and hopefully I can answer those questions. But anyways guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Peace.